Job, you can't ignore it. I'm transforming now these cars and planes. I'm always boarding. Just out touring down in Charlotte like I play for Hornets.
Evening, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Tuesday. You know what time it is. It is TFG Sports Show. It is the TFG Sports Show. I'm your host, Kendrick. We're giving you 30 minutes of the best sports talk, straight with no chaser. Hope you all are having a good evening. Hope you all are having a good week. We were off last week, but we're back. Just like my man on Martin, the Varnell Hill Show said, did you miss me? I hope you did. So, but we back and we're going to give it to you. Have some good sports talk tonight. We got a lot going on. First of all, I want to say those in the DFW, if you're out and about, be safe out there in the streets. We got some severe weather moving through the Metroplex, so make sure you be safe out there right now. Now, before we get started and get jumping, want to make sure you guys come in, hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that share button to TFG Sports Media on YouTube, and make sure you check it out on Facebook as well, and hit the notification bell on YouTube so you will be alerted when there is new content uploaded. So make sure you do that for me. Make sure you hit that chat. Let me know you're here so we can talk, chit chat, talk back and forth about the latest goings on in sports. Now, before we get to our topics, I definitely want to send a prayer up to New York City. Don't know if you heard, but there was a subway shooting earlier this morning where between 10 to 15 people, I believe, were injured. The gunman is still loose right now. So hopefully the law enforcement can find him. So we're sending good vibrations and prayers to those people that were injured in that subway shooting in New York. And speaking of New York, right now we got the NBA play-in games that's happening tonight and tomorrow. But tonight we got the Brooklyn Nets who are playing, hosting the Cleveland Cavaliers, who were at their shoot-around when this shooting happened. So obviously there's a lot on their mind. They got some sound with Kevin Durant talking about, hopefully everybody, will be safe. And it's going to be a high police presence, high law enforcement presence at the game right now. So right now, Brooklyn and Cleveland are playing. Brooklyn is up 32-20 with a minute 44 in the first quarter. And again, the second game on the play-in tournament tonight, we have, I believe it's the Clippers at the Minnesota Timberwolves that will follow right after the Brooklyn-Cleveland game on TNT. So again, we're sending our prayers to those in New York City. Hopefully we can find this gunman before anything else happens. Now I got my guests in. Bring them in, Mr. Producer. Got my guest, none other than the man himself, KLTV Sports Director out of Tyler, Texas. Michael Colvin, how you doing, Mike, on this Tuesday evening?
Well, I was going to wear my Kansas national champion cap. I was in Lawrence over the weekend, but I forgot it. I wasn't trying to feel sorry for you. I just forgot it. But I'm doing well, man. Yeah, prayers go out to the folks of New York. And I was watching the coverage today, and I remember thinking, wow, I from time to time I was on those subways, and it's just when I lived there, and just a bad deal, man.
Right. Yeah. So again, we sending positive vibes to those people out there. And again, I know you worked in New York, so you can kind of have about them subways, that's a totally different thing when a guy comes on there with a gun and he starts spraying this gas and he has gas masks. I just can only imagine what those people were going through when they started seeing that. I think Michael's froze on me. You hear me, Mike? I think he froze on me. Hey, Britannica Lynn, thanks for joining. I think he froze on me. But we're going to get Mike back in here. But we're going to go ahead and get to our first topic. We're talking about Tiger Woods. Tiger played in the Masters over this past weekend. And he, I don't think anybody really had that, big expectations for him. But I think we all were surprised when he decided to play. Bring him back when you can. Okay, there you go. You froze on me, Mike. Okay, we good. You hear me? You hear me?
Gotcha.
Okay, cool. We talking. Let's talk about Tiger Woods. Tiger played in the Masters this past weekend. Obviously, he came in 46. He shot a 78. over. He's like he finished basically 18 strokes behind the leader. I don't know if we had any expectations about where he would end up. What was your expectations of Tiger?
I didn't have any expectations of him winning. I think the universal word was, hey, if he can just even get out there. Now I will say I was told they paid him $2 million, and I'm not mad at him for that. But he's a gutted out kind of guy. You can say anything you want about Tiger Woods. He got a lot of heart. That dude he's a bad boy when it comes to just being mentally strong. And when I saw that he had been taking some practice rounds, I think 3 days worth leading up to the Masters, I said, yeah, I think he's going to play. And as he said in his presser prior to, after he said, yes, I plan on playing. Those are the words he chooses. Not I'm going to play. I plan on playing. But once I saw that he was practicing, he acknowledged, yeah, he said, my golf is fine. It's my ability to walk that I'm really concerned with. And, if you notice, he had a little bit of a gimp when he walked. He had a limp. He had 19. Yeah. He had 19 surgeries on that leg, which was being discussed about amputation. So I would never put anything past Tiger Woods at all. He is. I mean, and I'm not trying to talk about Will Smith. I'm not going there. But here's what I am saying: if anybody's got a lot of hell and a lot of noise and a lot of how could yous in the public light and with the butt of jokes and all that stuff and be a beloved again. He won the Masters in 19. That shows you how thick-skinned he is. His father did a great job on the mental aspect of him. Now, he's not the most I've seen some specials on him, like on HBO. He's not the most socially engaging person.
Right. He's kind of socially awkward. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that's the word for it. Yeah. But hey, when you on his turf, you can forget about it. But way to go. He is risen again, and I'm not trying to be biblical about it, but and you know what? He's got his kids, his little boy Charlie and his daughter. He's playing for them too, and I don't think we're going to see any more bad boy air quotes of Tiger. The accident, though, that was just a freak thing that happened to him, and it's kind of like it's kind of like life was piling on him at that time. And it happened 14 months ago. He's been away from the game for 17 months. He's got his kids with him. He's doing just fine.
Yeah. Well, he ended up shooting, ended up in 47th place again. I think he's 18 strokes back. Yeah, he still beat me. He ended up, I didn't know about the $2 million that you said, but he ended up getting $46,000 for finishing in 47th place. So he came out ahead. Now he did say that he's planning to play in the Open. And I think that's good because I think that'll give him time, because I know is it the US Open, that's the PGA that's in June, or is that May? One of them. So I thought that would be kind of quick for him to do that turnaround. Yeah, but he definitely said he's planning to play in the Open because he said that's his favorite course and it's his favorite course to play.
And I think by him acknowledging to everybody that he's playing, he doesn't have to be bothered by those kind of questions, whether it be his website or people just whatnot. I think the question now that he's acknowledged, I'm going to play in the Open, how well do you think you do? And that's going to be not just apply to him, but even the guy that just won the Masters, if he's going to play Scheffler, even if he's going to play, that's going to apply to him as well. So I think Tiger is he's just that. His daddy named him just right, Tiger.
Right. And you speaking of Scheffler, I'm glad you brought him up. For those that didn't know, Scottie Scheffler won the Masters. This is his first major championship. He won a cool $2.7 million. And just another thing about Scheffler, he's a Texan. He graduated from Highland Park. So Highland Park is making moves the first quarter of this year. They got two guys as champions. Matthew Stafford, quarterback of the LA Rams from Highland Park. Now Scott Scheffler wins the Masters from Highland Park. So give big ups to Highland Park at this point. So we're gonna move on to the Dallas Cowboys staying in Texas. Sad man, when I woke up to this, I was like, oh my. I just saw him somewhere. Dallas Cowboys legend Rayfield Wright died at the age of 76 on Thursday. He went to Fort Valley State, and he didn't even play football in college. He played basketball. He played 13 seasons with the Dallas Cowboys from 67 to 79, two-time Super Bowl champ, three-time first-team All-Pro, three-time second-team All-Pro, six-time Pro Bowler, NFL 1970s All-Decade Team, Dallas Cowboys Ring of Honor, and he was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2006. And guess what? He switched positions. Tom Landry said, I think you'll make a great offensive lineman. He was playing tight end. Mike, talk about Rayfield Big Cat Wright, as he was named.
Well, this is when the Cowboys were America's team. When you think about it, I mean, when that was thrown on them, that's when they were. And you know, Tom Landry, you just mentioned him. I mean, they're not America's team today, despite all the other stuff. That Tom Landry era, they were America's team. And I love Jimmy. Jimmy's era was how about them Cowboys, but they were America's team. And it's funny, you know, we sit here and discuss Rayfield, because when I flew in from Kansas City Sunday, Too Tall was outside waiting for his ride to pick him up at the baggage claim. And if I had my phone readily available, I would have gone up to him, because I think he would have remembered me, because he was here. He came to Tyler last year when Dorsett and Earl was here for the car show that Earl's a part of, and Ed was here. Too Tall was here. So I spent some time with him interviewing him. And I kind of, it's like, me, I'm always thinking Scoop, man. I thought, wow, if I had my phone on me, I would go up to him and say, hey, how you doing? Remember me? Da, da, da. And I would have asked him about the Rayfield Wright, and I think he would have responded in a positive way in terms of showing his love for him. Then when I found my phone, I said, oh, man, don't even do it. Just move on. But I was can't be newsman all the time. But but with Rayfield Wright, I mean, that era of the Cowboys they were monsters, man. And for him, Cowboys were one of the first teams to get those players that didn't play football, that they were athletes, whether it be track or whether it be basketball. They knew it would be Gil Brandt and those guys, Tex Schramm. They knew how to find athletes, and the proof is in the pudding, because Mr. Wright certainly was an athlete.
Right, and he was he did an interview. I think I don't know if it was the New York Post back in 2012, and he at that point he talked about he had been diagnosed with early stage of dementia. The head slaps. I don't think a lot of people know he was, because his first game as offensive lineman was against Deacon Jones. If those that's watching, Deacon Jones was a bad man, and he was the one that coined the term sack. Just some history for you guys. So that was his first game. So, but he also just talked about taking those head slaps and how it affected him in his later years.
Yeah, that's what I mean, and it's a good thing they outlawed the head slap, because it was a bell ringer, man. Literally, he was a bell ringer.
Right. So Rayfield Wright, he played in 8 NFC Championship games. He went to 5 Super Bowls and won 2. So rest in peace to the legend Hall of Famer Rayfield Wright. Now let's go to another down story. I know this is Downer Tuesday. Didn't mean to, but we got to talk about the unfortunate tragic accident of Dwayne Haskins. Saturday morning, Dwayne Haskins was trying to cross over a busy highway in Florida and got hit by a dump truck. Only 24 years of age. Mike, when you woke up and saw this, man, what was your thoughts?
Well, I had to make sure it was the Haskins I was thinking it was, because I was in Lawrence at my cousin's house and had been up all night, because I traveled after my 10 o'clock show Thursday night, and drove to Denton. A buddy of mine took me to the airport, so I was up all night. So I got a room. I was like just tired. So I was reading my phone. I'm like, no, that can't be right. Because my mind was kind of like foggy. Right. I said, wow, we haven't had one of these in a long time. And 24 years old. I know he'd been working out. And I just kind of wonder, what was he doing walking that early in the morning? That when the morning's over with and all that respect, there's going to be some digging, and I'm scared to hear what could possibly come up from the digging, so I won't say what it could possibly been right now, but he was a young man that was, I'm not going to say trying to get his life together, because his life was together. He was just a football player.
Yeah, right.
He's a football. I mean, and I think rightfully so with Gil Brandt and Schefter, with their insensitive
I want to go there. Okay, well, let's go there, Mike, because you journalists, you've been doing this a long time. Schefter and Gil Brandt was totally out of line. What was your thoughts on both of their comments?
The first time I saw it from Schefter, I'm like, what's that got to do with anything? That's the first thing I thought. I said, we're not talking about a football player getting killed. We're talking about a man. We're talking about a person. So I thought, wow, he's not separating the player from the man. And then I was pleased to know I wasn't the only one thinking that when I saw all the social media folks.
Oh, they got heat. Yeah.
They hammered him. And, and of course, he apologized. Apologized too late, but when I say too late, like I don't know, man. How can he not know right now? Oh, I can't put that out there.
That's what I'm saying. It's your tweet. You're reading it as you typing it, and you telling me you couldn't proofread your own. Come on, man. His apology. Obviously, he had to apologize, but Schefter has been making a bunch of these bad tweets a lot the last couple of months.
Yeah, this one took the cake.
This one took the cake, and rightfully so.
I think he's had such an entitlement at ESPN, that he can get away with anything. And Gil Brandt, okay, he's a 90-year-old man.
I don't give him no pass. I don't give him no pass on that, Mike.
I was told by somebody here in the building that Peter King is like, okay, from this point on, moving forward, record this guy. Do not have him live on your show. Because because he's 90 years old and he gonna say anything. Yeah. Not think anything's wrong about it until someone brings it to his attention. So I think his days are numbered. I don't mean that in the lively form, but in terms of being on the air. Yeah, I mean,
and those that's watching that, if you didn't hear Gil Brandt, basically he said that this young man was the Walking Dead. He basically was saying negative things. He said he shouldn't have came out of college, saying that he was he held a party at a bowling alley when they asked him to do this. It was just all negativity Gil Brandt was saying in this soundbite. And I'm like, what? First, I'm like, okay, now this is out of hand. This is out of line, and somebody need to check him on that. That was bad.
Well, somebody did, and I bet you we don't hear much from him moving forward. I bet you whatever he is doing with the NFL Network or whomever, they'll be cutting down his time on the air.
Right. And just to talk about Dwayne Haskins, like you say, he was a third quarterback in Pittsburgh. Again, I think he was on that track. His family life was tight. He was getting back into things, and all his teammates had nothing but glowing comments to say about him. I mean, a lot of people forget this young man at Ohio State, his sophomore year, he threw for 4,831 yards, 50 touchdowns. He was the first team All Big Ten. He was the Rose Bowl MVP. He threw for 499 yards and 5 touchdowns in the 2018 Big Ten championship game. And he was the 15th pick by the Washington Commanders in the 2018 draft. He had the skills, It's just a sad deal all the way around. 24 years young.
And I liked that he went to Pittsburgh because I think Mike Tomlin was the guy that could help him. I say help him out. That could make him a better player, make him a better person. He wasn't a bad person at all, so don't get that impression at all. Just be a better game decision maker, during the course of playing the game. And I thought maybe that'd be his opportunity to, put Washington way back in his rearview mirror and move forward with the Steelers. R.I.P. Mr. Haskins.
Yeah, R.I.P. Dwayne Haskins Jr. The Florida Highway Patrol said that they're going to be investigating. This investigation is probably going to take 60 to 90 days just to see, what happened. Yeah. So again, I'm like you. Our news background. We know that sometimes you're scared about this digging because sometimes some things come out that you weren't expecting.
Yeah.
But again, rest in peace to Dwayne Haskins. And to his family and the Pittsburgh Steelers because they're in mourning. So this is going to be something that they'll carry with them for the whole season. Anyway, let's move on. We're staying in Grambling State. Man, I don't know if you heard about this story.
Man. I heard.
Oh, man. Coach Chelsea Lucas, who who was hired in February. She came from the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. And she came in and basically said that she was going to get rid of the whole volleyball team and bring in her own players. Now, I've been doing some digging. I've been listening to some different YouTube news services about this. The Grambling State Communications Director came on and said that some of the stuff that's been put out there isn't accurate. Actually, there were 5 of the members of the team. It was 15 total. 5 of them actually quit, but 10 were cut, according to some of the information we're getting. But still, she cut 10 people. I mean, I know as a coach, see, I think a lot of people don't understand in college that scholarships are renewed on a year-to-year basis. So technically, a coach could do that. But for a coach to exercise that, I think is in bad faith and is in bad taste. Mike, what you think about this? What you think about this story?
Talk about transfer portal. Right. Come on now. And I understand also she's going to bring in those athletes that she had to Grambling. I've heard that. I think I read where the AD's like, well, we knew she was going to make some changes, but they can't tell her not to. You hire, if it doesn't work out, okay, then you know what you can do. But hey, it's radical, and for those who how should I put it, who were dogging it, you can't cry now, And I don't know what the tape shows. I don't know if it shows you're hustling, not hustling, or what the deal is. But if she's gonna lose or win, she's got to do it with her players she feels comfortable with. And for those who quit, I mean, maybe there's something wrong with the program before she got there. I mean, I guess I'm thinking they quit. Did they quit before she got there or quit once she got there?
No, they quit when she got there, according to the reports that I've been seeing. Okay. And, here's the thing.
They kind of helped her do her dirty work.
Here's the thing: one of her former players that played for Alcorn State says that this coach, Chelsea Lucas, she shouldn't be coaching according to her experience. Now she's only speaking on her experience with her from Alcorn State. She said that she knew that there was going to be issues when they hired her. Again, this is such a touchy subject because my thing is now the student athletes. The thing is she cut them, and the transfer portal had closed. That window to put your name into the transfer portal had already closed. So now what are these young ladies going to do? They don't have a scholarship. They can't. There
should be a support system for them on this. To throw them out in the cold like that, and you're in the element of education. It's not about playing the game. It's about the education.
Right. So my thing is, she did it in bad faith. I'm just saying the coach did this, and then the AD and the communications director kind of had a blase attitude about it. It's I
saw that. Yeah.
Do you see that? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, okay, so these women just like out on the island by themselves. And then go ahead. It's a young lady it was a young lady being recruited there. She emailed her and told her, that your scholarship offer will be rescinded. So it's crazy.
Well, this is going to be a piece for Bryant Gumbel and Real Sport down the road. Trust me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. You're right. And then Grambling just had that situation with Hugh Jackson hiring Art Briles. I forgot about that. They had to
you brought it up.
They had to go in reverse with that. So it's like, come on, Grambling State, all the HBCU love that we get in, and then we got this situation going on. So my thing is, my hope is that these young ladies, whatever has to be done, that they can get there. Somehow, if allow them to transfer to somewhere to where they can continue their education, and if they want to continue playing volleyball too.
And if she tries to play hardball when it comes to practicing, because what she's done, she's invited inadvertently media to come and cover her team just to see how's it going to go down. And so what will the practice, what will the rules be when it comes to coming to practices and talking to the players and that kind of stuff? And maybe in the past they haven't covered volleyball, but they will this year because of, or next year because of what she's come in and done, because she's a sitting duck right now.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, so we're gonna keep our eye on that story, see what happens with Grambling State and their volleyball coach and these young ladies that were cut. Now we down to my conundrum. I got to start scratching my head, Kendrick conundrum.
All right.
And this one just popped up out the blue today, Mike. Your boy Cam Newton. Well, here's my conundrum with Cam Newton. He's a free agent. If y'all don't know, Cam Newton, quarterback of Carolina Panthers, he's a free agent. Well, Cam Newton, the 32-year-old free agent quarterback, was on a $1 Million Worth of Game podcast. And he was complaining about women. He said women who can't cook. He said these big B women that said they the big boss, but most of them, they don't know how to cook and don't know when to be quiet. And I'm quoting Cam Newton. He says, now, a woman for me is handling your own, but knowing how to cater to a man's needs, right? This is what Newton said. And I think a lot of time when you get that aesthetic of like, I'm a boss bee, I'm this, I'm that. No, baby, but you can't cook. You don't know when to be quiet. You don't know how to allow a man to lead. And I quote, that was Cameron Newton on a podcast. Okay, Cam Newton, let me say this. This is the second time you just said something crazy about women, bro. You was at a press conference a couple of years ago and said a woman, you didn't think it's funny to hear a woman that know how to dissect plays. Can we please keep the microphone out of Cam Newton's face when it's
and when he
women?
did that, I wasn't so hard on him because I thought I knew what he was trying to say, because she was asking a very involved about a passing game or whatever it was that guys don't ask. And maybe she felt she had to do that because she's with the guys and show her knowledge. She just asked the wrong guy. Now she instead of Peyton Manning, that response wouldn't have happened. And as for Cam, I guess he's just around the wrong women.
Yeah, you need to stop talking about women.
I mean,
let me ask you this,
like
Mike. Let me ask you this, Mike. Are you gonna tell Gina to be quiet?
No. No.
Okay. So anyway,
I was raised in a house full. I was raised in a house full of girls, and by a woman. So ain't no way.
So I would tell Kim.
I mean, I just think he just don't give a darn, man. He just don't care.
Yeah, man.
I don't know, because he's not gonna get signed.
Yeah, we know he don't care.
Nobody's gonna pick him up.
No, you're right, and we know he don't care because his outfits look a pure D mess. Have his press conference
now I saw that outfit. The outfit he was wearing when we talk about the women, that wasn't too bad.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't too bad.
Most of them be like, but teaches all.
Yeah.
So between him,
he's a different kind of cat, man. He's a different kind of cat.
Between him and Channing Crowder calling Russell Wilson cornball. NFL guys, y'all stay off these podcasts talking about people's relationships because y'all sounding corny to me right now. So anyway, that's my conundrum for this Tuesday. All right, Mike.
Well,
give me the last thoughts for the night.
It's Cam's conundrum too, okay? Understand that.
You didn't get your final thoughts for the night, brother.
Hey, it was just over a week ago, but the Rock Chalk Jayhawks took down North Carolina. I was kind of concerned. I was going to text you at halftime. I had my phone. I said, well, I'm going to wait. Cause I just think they can pull it off. Right. And they came out the way they did. And, that's Bill Self had to get that win. I mean, he's got a tremendous winning record in the tournament. He wins at home, but only has one championship to show for it. And I know back in 20, they thought that might have been the best team in the country, but we'll never know. So haven't been around him. He's a cool guy, I think. And so I'm just glad that they got a championship, because since the Chiefs couldn't win the Super Bowl, the Jayhawks had to win the national championship.
And it pains me to hear you say that. Oh, that pains me. But hats off to Kansas Jayhawks, man. They played a heck of a second half, and it was one of the great. It's one of the better national championship games I've watched in the last few years. So hats off to both universities. I'm gonna say this real quick. My final thoughts. I forgot to mention this. La La Land is in turmoil. Frank Vogel was fired yesterday. I don't think he was the issue. I think that roster setup was an issue. And I think King James and the front office should take a lot of shoulder to blame, as well as Russell Westbrook. But it is what it is. I guarantee you we're going to hear more about the Lakers during the NBA playoffs than we will about the teams in the playoffs. So
and that's unfortunate.
And that's unfortunate because I don't want to hear any more LA Lakers until the season starts next year. So again, we got the play-in tournaments going tonight. Then they continue tomorrow night. Then the NBA playoffs start on Saturday. Mike, thanks for joining me tonight, brother. Always a pleasure, man. You take care of yourself. I'm your host, Kendrick. This has been the TFG Sports Show. We'll see you back here next Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. And we out of here. Peace.
That money clip us now, the new now looks like, whoa, upgrade her diamonds, now her girlfriends are like, whoa, I hit record a drop, you can't ignore it. I'm transforming now these cars and planes, I'm always boarding. Just out touring down in Charlotte like I play for Hornets. When I'm performing, never boring, now you can't afford it.